What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got some alternate art super rares that we need to be having a chat about. Yeah, that's right. They've gone and been revealed, and frankly, ladies and gentlemen, if we didn't have a chat about them, I'd feel a little bit like I wasn't really doing my job properly, and, well, that makes me a little bit sad. They've all actually been drawn by Kenji Watanabe. We've got 10, they're all the super rares from the set. We knew we'd be getting the alternate art versions, so we're going to have a little bit of a chat. Couple of notes before we get going. It is important to point out that, yes, some of these super rares are coming as dash packs for Booster 1.0 in the UK. Now, not these ones specifically, but some super rares from BT1 and BT2, the first two sets, did actually make their way out into dash packs that have now been confirmed. You get one dash pack for every 12 packs you buy, 2 if you buy a box. And you can see that 3 of these have basically ended up, plus the Agumon and the Gabumon, in the dash packs for Booster 1.0 over here. Does that mean that some of the ones I'm showing you in this video today will end up in dash packs for Booster 1.5? The answer is there is a very good chance that some of them are, and there is almost no chance that all of them are, and we have no idea which ones will or will not, but do bear in mind there is a very high likelihood that a couple of these will end up in dash packs. You have been warned. The second point is, yes, we are going to briefly remind ourselves what all of these cards do. We're going to have a little bit of a chat as we go, but we're not going to spend a huge amount of time on them, purely because we've already talked about them before. It would make it a hyper long video, and you can just check the links in the description to find out more about these cards. So Blitz Greymon then, and obviously there will be the alternate and the regular artwork on the screen at all times, because I'm nice like that. Blitz Greymon I like a lot because 12,000 power plus piercing. That means if you take out a resting Digimon, you also perform a security check. And when you Digivolve, you get to remove the top 2 layers, so to speak, of one of your opponent's Digimon. And it fits into red or black decks, so it's slightly expensive, but there is, shall we say, a fair bit of power going on there that makes us kinda happy about it. Now, we are also getting our only level 7 of the set, Ragnar Lordmon, coming through as a lovely alternate art. Now, Ragnar Lordmon really is one of the premier cards from the set, one of the ones we're supposed to get excited about. I mean, it's a level 7, but 14,000 power is huge. And it's got security attack +1, which is nice. And it's got reboot, so it makes it have active on your turn and your opponent's, which basically means it's just not going to be resting on your opponent's turn, so it's going to be very difficult to take out. And when you Digivolve, you can either put a Durandamon or Broiludramon from your hand to the top of the Digivolution sources and gain free memory. Now, it's only free to evolve normally, which is cheap for a level 7. You get free memory back, basically making it free to evolve, and you get 2 level 6s down as evolution sources, with all the extra fun time that can bring you. Yeah, this might be something to get excited about. Then moving on into blue, we are getting Leopardmon here. Now, Leopardmon is another one of those which is slightly expensive. 12 cost to play normally, 4 cost to evolve, but only 11,000 power. But when you evolve, you may play a level 4 or less Digimon from one of your opponent's Digivolution sources, doesn't matter which one, without paying its cost, and because it doesn't say you don't get any play skills, you totally get to reuse the play skills. Then on your turn, your level 4 or less Digimon have jamming, which means they will not be destroyed by security Digimon. Even though they're small and weak, they're not going to be destroyed by security Digimon. And this is ridiculous. Those rookie rush decks we've talked about, where you just play lots of little level 3 Digimon, and you basically try and swarm and go, look, I'm taking out your security and I'm being destroyed every time I do, but it doesn't matter, there's so many of me. Now they're not being destroyed by security. You should probably look for Leopardmon and rookies to be a bit of an archetype moving forward. But we're also getting Imperial Drum on Dragon Mode. Now, this is a very expensive level 6, 13 cost to play normally, 5 cost to evolve. That is a little bit over the top in terms of cost. But it can evolve from either blue or green, which is nice. And if it digivolves from Imperial Drum or Dino Beamon, then it's actually just a free cost to evolve. Okay. I mean, I'll give you this. It's still not cheap, but it at least brings it down to a respectable level if you digivolve. Still playing for 13 costs is expensive. But it's got jamming, so it will not be destroyed by security Digimon. And when you evolve into it, all of your Digimon with jamming become active. Clearly an awesome combo here with Leopardmon. You give all your Digimon jamming and then make them all active, kind of hilarious. But also, you could just be playing a deck full of jamming Digimon and they're all made active when this comes out. Clearly there is some fun to be had here. Now in terms of yellow, unfortunately there is just the one. There's only the one we're talking about, I'm sorry. It's the only yellow super rare. What do you want me to do about it? Canturasmon, apologies for the pronunciation. And what we've got here is a Digimon, where when you Digivolve, up to 5 of your opponent's Digimon get security attack -2 until the end of your opponent's next turn. Which basically means anything that doesn't have at least security attack +2 will not be attacking. And when I say not attacking, they can attack. And they can take out your resting Digimon. And they can attack your security. They just won't remove any security cards. That's kind of hilarious. But when it's destroyed, one of your opponent's Digimon gets -11,000 power until the end of this turn. So essentially this one, while it's out, is kind of meh. But when Canturasmon comes out, you basically turn many of your opponent's Digimon off of taking out security for a turn. Then when it goes away, you just smash a 11,000 power or less Digimon. There are other things you can do, but most of the time you're going to want to delete a level 6, and that's the thing of beauty. Yeah, I think this is probably the kind of thing we can maybe get just a little bit excited about. I'm certainly getting excited. Speaking of colours that only have one, I'm afraid there's only one green super rare as well. Sorry. That's just what the set looks like. But it's a pretty gosh darned good one. It is Sarasmon. Now, it's a 5 cost to evolve, which seems expensive, but it's got download -3, which is to say you can rest one of your Digimon to reduce its cost by 3, i.e. you rest one of your Digimon and evolve it for 2 cost. But on your turn, limited to once during your turn, you may rest your opponent's Digimon instead of your own when using download. Now, it doesn't work for Sarasmon because it's not out when you do it, but essentially here, what you do is you play a deck with lots of download, and then as soon as Sarasmon's on the field, every time you go to download, you rest one of your opponent's Digimon instead of your own. That is wonderful. And by every time, I mean the first time each turn. It is limited to once during your turn. Worth pointing out, this has the best artwork of all of these alternate art super rares. It is a thing of absolute beauty. Generally speaking, I'm not such a fan of the artwork here. It's not my... I understand, I appreciate it's brilliant. It's just not my personal taste, except for this one. This one is absolutely beautiful, to the point I want to frame one and put it on the wall in my studio, because I love it. Now, moving over into black, we have a couple here, starting off with Cranium. Now, what we've got here is a Digimon that can evolve from either black or red, which is quite nice, and it's an 11 cost, which was a standard up till now, but a lot of Digimon in this set are going above it. And what we've got here is a couple of skills. Firstly, it's got Reboot, so again, it gets made active on your opponent's turn. It's going to be very difficult for them to take you out. And when you Digivolve, for each of your opponent's Digimon, you reveal one card from the top of your deck, and you may play a black or red level 5 or less Digimon from amongst them without paying its cost. It doesn't say you can't, so yes, you can activate the play skills here. And frankly, we've seen a bunch of these, but it's rarely, very rare, that you actually get to play a level 5 Digimon with this kind of skill. Usually it's either level 3 or it's 4 or below. Now, it's kind of random because it depends on how many Digimon your opponent's got out as to how many cards you can look at, and then it's only just one from there. But this has the potential to absolutely really pay off, because you might be playing like an 8 cost level 5 for free, That's kind of ridiculous. Although do bear in mind, it is a Digivolve skill, not a play skill, so you must do this when you evolve up, not when you just play it normally. But even if nothing else, you've still got 11,000 power Digimon with Reboot. That ain't terrible. Now, Craniummon here, what we've got is a very expensive Digimon. Again, we're talking 13 cost to play normally, which is huge, quite frankly. But it's got blocker, and it's a 12,000 power blocker. 12,000 power blocker is huge. I think that makes it the biggest natural blocker we've seen so far. It's redonk. But also, on both players' turn, all of your Digimon with blocker cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card's effects. So any skill that would destroy a Digimon or an option card like Gaia Force, they don't work. And it is important to note this works for both Digimon skills and option card skills. Now, lowering power, like we've seen already in this video, will go through this because it's not an effect, it is lowering power, it's different. But a 12,000 power blocker that makes all of your blockers, including itself, unable to be destroyed by effects of cards. I cannot be the only one that thinks there's a huge amount of potential here. And then finishing off with purple, we can take a little bit of a look at Mastermon. Now, Mastermon here can evolve from either purple or yellow, and when you Digivolve, you discard one security from both players' stacks, which is kind of awesome, but situational. Then you may play a level 4 or less yellow or purple Digimon from your trash without paying the cost. Again, because it doesn't say that your skills don't activate, play skills that is, it means they do. Now, discarding a security can be a really good thing or a really bad thing. This can backfire massively, because if your opponent's kind of ahead in the game, this could actually be the one security you take away which actually lets them win the game. But this is one of those things that you've got to know enough to be able to time this properly and not hurt yourself too much. And it is an evolution skill, again, not a play skill. But being able to take away a security from your opponent while playing a Digimon for free, again, there is a lot of potential here. And finally, we can finish off having a look at Lilithmon. Now, Lilithmon comes in here with some rather nice skills. When you Digivolve, if you have 10 or more cards in your trash, and you need to be careful here, and unless you're absolutely desperate, you want to wait until that is the case, you return 2 purple option cards from your trash to your hand. And once during your turn, when you play an option card, you get +2 memory. You do have to recover purple option cards. You do not have to play a purple option card to get the extra memory. And essentially, Lilithmon just makes your option cards way better. What we're talking about here is a situation where you genuinely get extra option cards, and you get to play option cards either for free or for cheaper. And if you want to be playing an option-heavy purple deck, Lilithmon has absolutely got your back. Many of these are worth getting excited about. And now we've seen all the beautiful alternate arts. So now it's over to you, lovely ladies and gentlemen, and there's a couple of questions. Firstly, which of these cards are you looking forward to in terms of playability? And secondly, which of these do you love the alternate arts of? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wassy Plays.